A brilliant day of tennis action in Shanghai. Novak Djokovic does what he does best, and he turns up on the big stage. We have the new year-end number one, Jannik Sinner, also looking good, and this is our final preview.
That's right, it was an epic semi-final day, but it did end up being 2 straight set wins for the victors, and we have in the final Novak Djokovic, Jannik Sinner, and for me, this is a shocking final. At the beginning of the week, I didn't think that we'd see Djokovic there, and I thought Jannik Sinner would win the event. Now we've got Djokovic there. I'm not sure if Jannik Sinner will win the event. It's one of those. They're both playing such amazing tennis right now. And where do we start? Djokovic or Sinner? Which one do you want to go with first?
I think you've got to start with Novak Djokovic.
It
was a crazy performance from him. And these stats highlight how good Novak Djokovic was today. I'm like you. Pre-event, I did not expect him to make this final. I didn't expect him to play at this level. But it's been astonishing, really, the performance and quality we've seen. And this highlights it. So Djokovic playing some serious ball. Less than 1% of matches on the ATP Tour finished with all 4 shot quality scores greater than 8. And you can see here, Novak Djokovic, 8.7 on the serve, 8.6 on the return, 8.9 on the forehand, 8.2 on the backhand, which surprises me because I thought that would have been in the nines. The way he did some incredible backhand winners, passing Fritz at the net on many occasions. And you can see a 71% conversion score. Overall performance, 9.01. The performance ratings for the tour average is about 7.4. So this is a high-level Novak Djokovic. But it wasn't straightforward. And there's so much to unpack in this match. Fritz had chances to win that second set. He was very, very close in the tie-break. But just final steps, like little bits here and there, Djokovic was able to produce some really big moments. And there was a forehand error Fritz made where he went long. When he just needed I think it was at 5-all maybe in the tiebreak, or 6-all. Yes. It was certainly the business end of the tiebreak, and it was an unforced error. And I feel like that was just a really nervy one. At 6-all, he made a serve, which was very weak as well. And it's a shame because his performance up until the crunch time of the tiebreak was really good.
Brilliant.
He hit very hard, seemed to be more composed. But yet, when it come to that tiebreak, when he needed to do better, he went in his shell and just did the same thing what Taylor Fritz always does against the top players.
Yeah, it's weird. He's getting better and better, Taylor Fritz, as time goes past. But the one thing he just can't seem to get off of his back is Novak Djokovic, because that's now 10 losses in a row against Novak Djokovic. And it's not just in a row, it's of all time. So it's 10 losses, no wins. And, he says he improved to a stunning 208-0 combined record against the following 27 players. I mean, this is going to be a ridiculous list.
Well, you've got Monfils, the big one, 19. You've got Sardi, 14-0. Seppi, 12. Raonic, 12. And Fritz has secured his place in the top 5.
Record breaker. Love it.
Yeah, La Decima. 10 matches he's lost to Novak Djokovic and not won. Will he ever win one?
I mean, it's possible, but Djokovic's level will have to be a lot less than it was today. I mean, his level was so high. It reminded me a little bit of the Olympics and the way that Djokovic, despite being bullied around the back of the court, he just keeps the rally going. And he doesn't even just keep it going. He finds winners out of defensive positions. And that was the thing with that backhand. It seems like he just has it so well oiled that if you hit a drive volley or a big forehand into that backhand side and approach the net, do it at your own peril, because it could be flying past you down the line. And it did a few times to Taylor Fritz today. Taylor Fritz must be looking in the mirror and thinking, what do I have to do? I mean, I played brilliantly today. Probably would have beaten 98% of the tour, but not Novak Djokovic, unfortunately. He was just sublime, and especially in the big moments, Djokovic did what he does best and was able to get Fritz out of there. Big serving, as Djokovic does on set point in the first set as well. But you saw when push comes to shove in a tie break, he just keeps the rally going. He keeps the paces mixed up, and Taylor Fritz, it was just all on his racket whether he wanted to be nervous or take that tie break by the scruff of the neck. And unfortunately for Taylor Fritz, more often than not, it is the nerves that he succumbs to. So that's what happened. And Djokovic into yet another final, and now looking to win. What's this? We're talking about La Decima. What's this? La Sentia? Is that what he's going for?
Yeah, he's just won so many matches, especially at Masters as well. He's the record leader for Masters victories.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into more stats in a second. But what I want to focus on at the moment is actually the injury problems for Novak Djokovic.
Yes.
Because it wasn't straightforward. Against Mensik, he had a problem with his left knee. I'm not sure if it's still the knee or the hip. I've seen different sources saying different things.
Yeah.
But certainly, physically, he is struggling. Do I think he's going to play this final? Yes. I've not got no doubt in my mind. I think he's going to be there. And what's this? A quote he said. He provided an update there you put up. Yeah, it was a little bit different, but again, both are not concerning me at the moment. Knowing that I went through and finished the match, both yesterday and today, so good news. So there, he's confirming it is kind of different injuries.
Yeah.
But only time will tell how he's going to be able to perform. My expectation is it's not going to be 100%. He's going to be playing Jannik Sinner in the final, the toughest prospect on tour right now.
Scary prospect.
And I feel Djokovic is going to be at about 60, 70%. We're not going to be able to see him maybe reach the heights of today. And I think that's where he's going to really struggle.
It's a really tough match. I mean, it's the toughest match on tour right now is Jannik Sinner on a hard court.
It's just amazing, though. Every time he has these injuries, he's able just to bounce back in real time and get through. We saw there was a famous one, wasn't it? Australian Open, was it, against Taylor Fritz, or the US Open, one of them, when he had the abdomen problem, managed to get through it. This one wasn't as bad, but I don't know, after the medical timeout, I really did think Fritz was going to take the tie-break. But Djokovic always tricks me. Every time he looks down and out, he finds a way and wins the match.
Mental strength, mental giant. That's the thing with Novak. You never know. He's never counted out of any set or any game ever. And this is an interesting one, saying Djokovic has now all but guaranteed his place in the end-of-year World Tour Finals. He's now the 6th best performing male of the year. Considering that he's only played a fraction of the events this year, it's a very impressive performance. Yeah, it's been probably one of his worst years on record, I'd say, for Novak Djokovic. But I think that he's still chasing records, still chasing the 100th tournament win, that type of thing. It's enough to get the juices flowing, to just keep him above like this level, and that level is World Tour Final worthy. I'm sure he's worthy of it for sure, because who else? If you look down that list, I mean, show the list.
Well, you want to see him there. You want to see him playing. You don't want to see a Rublev at the moment with the form he's in, but probably you might be able to sneak in Rublev. I'd like to see Dimitrov there, personally.
It'd be entertaining, that's for sure.
Well, he's, for me, deserved of the top 8 spot, but he just can't seem to
a lot of ups
still
and
win
downs.
enough.
It's like
it's close, but
there.
it's just not enough. And Djokovic has shown him how to do it. The thing with Djokovic, he's been saying that he's not so bothered about playing in the Tour Finals. His focus being the Davis Cup and Grand Slams. I've not bought into it, and I'm sure he's going to be very pleased to be able to qualify and have an opportunity to show he's the best in the world against the best players this year.
He still will be setting records as well. If he gets another Tour Finals victory, if he was to get in, he would play it. That's the thing. Like, he's not a man who'll shy down from a challenge, and he'll definitely go there knowing there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of points on the line, and history on the line as well, because he could be like the standout performer like that he already is. But once you've set the record, you can keep pushing it further away so it can't be beaten. So he could have that in his mind as well, just to prove I'm not done quite yet. And I think that's what he's trying to prove in Shanghai this week as well. Oh, everyone thinks, I'm going away. Oh, everybody thinks I'm old. Everybody thinks these Sinner and Alcaraz. Well, guess what? That's it. It's like he's saying there, Shanghai, you have my heart. Not too bad for an old guy. Bring on the final. I think that this is him trying to prove everybody wrong right now. And just because of the year, it's not been a good year for him. I still think he's like the Olympics. He wants to show if he can beat Sinner and he beat Alcaraz this year. If he beats Sinner on a hard court and he beats Alcaraz on a clay court, he's still the best, isn't he?
Well, I don't know about the best, but he's certainly still competitive, and that's the main thing we want.
Exactly.
Going to this stat, so this is record in Masters Finals, and then we'll move on to Sinner. So Djokovic, 40 wins, 18 losses.
That's, I mean, it's
just 58 finals.
That's insanity that even exists.
It actually is insanity.
This is like pitiful from Sinner.
Well, he's young, isn't he?
Yeah, he's young,
and he wasn't great the first few, maybe, but now he's looking different player completely this last year. 3 wins, 2 losses for Jannik Sinner. Let's do a preview of the match. So Sinner, he beat Mahatch today, 6-4, 7-5. We just watched the full highlights of this one a second ago. Mahatch played brilliantly.
Phenomenal.
I mean, it was similar to the Alcaraz level he produced. I know he apologised for the level he played at. It wasn't too far off. But Sinner is just the best player in the world. He is better than Alcaraz this year.
Yeah,
in my opinion. You just see him, and I was watching Mahatch and I was trying to dissect what could he done better in this situation or what's he doing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong.
No.
He played a good match, Thomas Mahatch. Sinner's just another level altogether. I honestly feel that peak Jannik Sinner level can maybe Mats Wilander's right on this one. The peak Jannik Sinner, I think the big three can't even keep up with. It is so good.
It's a very, very high level. That's the thing with Thomas.
Because there isn't a weakness with Jannik Sinner's game when he's playing at his best.
It's very, very high level. Mahatch, you saw him overhitting to even try and get Sinner out of rallies. That's the thing that he brings to the table is he's so consistent. He will hang in a rally for so long that the way Mahatch even made it a close match was by hitting so many winners, by being such a big player on the court. And the second that level dipped just slightly and the power came off the shots, Sinner takes control of the rally and starts winning the points. And you just saw a little bit of a wobble at the end of each set was all it took, really. I mean, Mahatch looked great from the off, but it's the business ends. Always, we say it time and time again, business ends. That is where the bosses come to life. And Jannik Sinner has bossed hard courts all this year. He's won 2 hard court slams this year. And now he's looking for the Shanghai Masters as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a heavy favourite moving into this.
Yeah, I like this one as well. I'm going to share, and it's Mahatch telling Sinner that you play too fast as he broke his racket frame from hitting the ball too hard.
Wow,
and I think that speaks volumes of the level and power of Jannik Sinner. Last one for Djokovic, which I missed a second ago.
Oh, nice.
And this is all the years he has reached a Masters 1000 final. So it is 14 years in a row. And he was running out of opportunities in 2024. There was a few times when we thought maybe he's not going to get to a final of a Masters. He usually would have done it by April minimum. But yeah, it's cut all the way to October. He's finally got to his final, and that is 14 in a row for Novak Djokovic.
That's nuts. I mean, he still had Paris maybe left to squeeze it in, but
he's running out of time.
Would he even have played it? We don't know. Is it all smoke and mirrors from Novak Djokovic right now about how much tennis he's going to play before the end of the year? I'm guessing as much as you lot are. But yeah, let's have a look at this. They're head-to-head going into the final with Jannik Sinner. 4-3 for Novak in the head-to-head, and Jannik winning 3 of their last 4 meetings. That's not good for Novak, that's for sure. And also the Australian Open semi-final. The last one that they played, it was on a hard court as well, in Djokovic's best tournament, essentially, on tour. And he won his first Grand Slam title.
Well, he was dominated.
Yeah.
Sinner demolished him in that match. So we've not seen enough of these matchups this year. I would like to have seen more Sinner Novak, but Novak's just not played, and he's not been at the end of events, so it's a shame. But we finally get to see one, and this is one which is very eagerly awaited. I think Sinner is going to have too much for him, and that's going to lead to my prediction. 2 of the best going toe-to-toe, excellence versus excellence. How do I see this one going? Well, my prediction is going to be Jannik Sinner to win. I think with Djokovic's injury, I think Sinner, even relevant to the injury, is just better. And I don't know. I personally see this one going straight sets. Jannik Sinner.
Wow. That is... I can understand why you're doing it. I feel disrespected a bit from you doing it. But there's one thing that I'm going to use in my prediction, and that is the facts. The times that Jannik Sinner has beaten Novak Djokovic have never been in a final. The only time they've ever played in a final was...
ATP finals.
Exactly, the ATP finals. Djokovic, when something's on the line, the level gets raised. Olympic gold earlier this year was the only thing he was really playing for. The level got raised. He's playing for 100th ATP title. There's something on the line for Novak Djokovic right now. He wouldn't have tried this hard to get to this final unless he was there to win it. And I think we've seen something about Djokovic this year. It just proves that if he really has to, he can. And I didn't believe at the start of the tournament, but now he's proved to me that he can. And I'm going to be going for a Novak Djokovic win in this final. He wins his 100th title. And he says goodbye to Shanghai and gives them a little piece of his heart that he'll leave there forever. And I think it'll be in 3 sets.
Sinner winning the first?
I think it will be, yeah.
Okay, so Sinner winning the first and Djokovic coming back in 3. I reckon the Italian man will win in straight. Let us know your predictions in the live chat. You've heard our say. We'll be doing a podcast reviewing the final, see who was right. And of course, we're going to be watching this one for sure live. It's a big one. You can't miss it. Make sure you sit down and enjoy it. And we'll see what goes on.
See you then.
Thank you.